Hey y'all, Ramdino here, coming at you from North Carolina. Well, I had promised you a video on the bag tags and registrations. So I have got information for you on the bag tags on the Appalachian Trail. Not going to have any information for you on the registrations because the ATC has not had opportunity to get back to me yet. But that information is coming, and as soon as it does come, I will get back to you with the information that I have. So, for the bag tag information, stick around. So I had done a video earlier and it had featured some stuff about the bag tags, but it was back before 2021. It was back before, and it was mainly about the 2021 tags. And I had a subscriber ask me if I was certain that the 2021 tags were not going to be handed out. And of course, during that, I went back and reviewed that video, looked at my information I had, my sources, and I mainly talked about 2020. So me being the person that likes to double check, I did not want to mislead anybody or give out any misleading information. And so I did not actually cover 2021 tags, other than to say I did not think that they would be giving them out. And so this subscriber asked me if I was absolutely 100% sure that they were not giving them out in 2021. So I want to make sure that I could be 99.9% Ivory Soap pure that they were not giving them out. So I went back and did some research for this video. So first off, what is a bag tag? So if you're new to the Appalachian Trail or new to the hiker community on the Appalachian Trail, the bag tag, I call them bag tags, the ATC calls them hang tags. And basically that's the little 4x4 piece of plastic that you get issued when you register for your thru hike, and people hang that on their backpack. And so we'll talk about the symbolism there, but basically in a nutshell, it identifies you as a thru hiker on the trail. So the ATC stopped issuing hanger tags for the 2020 season in March of 2020 in accordance with the request for hikers to get off the trail due to COVID. And they are not currently issuing bag tags right now. So, but I wanted to give you some information as how I know that for a fact. Zombie, who was hiker number 7 that stepped off from Amicalola Falls, he indicated in his Instagram post that they were not giving out bag tags. So that was, of course, coming from a hiker. That was my first indication. And then, to confirm even deeper, I called down at Amicalola Falls State Park, and the folks down there who register you, who give you the training that they have down there, who give you the tags, indicated that they indeed were not issuing bag tags this year, and they did not know when that would start up again. They indicated that the ATC was tight-lipped about that, and tight-lipped kind of sounds like a bad connotation. I think basically the ATC doesn't know. We'll talk about that in just a minute as well. And then I went to Lori, and I'm going to butcher her name again. I'm going to try to get it better because I know Lori's a viewer. Lori Podager. And she is an information officer with the ATC. And she gave me a ton of information, as she always does. And I greatly appreciate that, to give y'all the information that I know, and the more the better. And Lori did confirm that the ATC currently is not giving out bag tags, issuing bag tags, and they stand behind what they have already said previously about what it would take for them to recommend it's okay for people to get on the trail, and of course along with that would come the issuing of bag tags. So they will do so when the CDC has deemed the pandemic under control, or a COVID-19 vaccine and or effective treatment is widely available and distributed. Of course, the states also, they've indicated, all the states on the trail, 14 of them, all of those are going to have everything open up with no quarantines before they are going to say it's okay to hike. Until that time, they will not be issuing 2021 hang tags. So I asked about, okay, once they start doing it, how are they going to do that? Are they going to mail it to people that are already on the trail? And of course, that was a stupid thought, because they're not even recognizing mileage for people that are currently out there on the trail. So I would say no, they're not going to mail those to them. And Lori indicated that they will start issuing 2021 hang tags whenever they do at the ATC designated visitor centers. So the designated visitor centers are Amicalola Falls State Park, Harper's Ferry, Damascus, when that one gets up and running, and Monson, Maine. And she kind of put the caveat there, assuming they are open. Well, that kind of concerned me a little bit, because assuming they will open, well, I'm assuming that they are going to open sometime in 2021. They have made the assumption that they feel the same way, because if you go to the Harper's Ferry ATC website, it says that the Harper's Ferry office will be closed until February. So the office there is opening up, but maybe that doesn't have anything to do with whether or not they're going to be issuing out tags there. But in any case, I didn't like that. Was kind of ominous, but hopefully that things are going to be returning to normal. We know they're not going to be returning to normal at the beginning of the year, but hopefully sometime middle of the year, certainly toward the end, things are going to get back to normal. So I want to kind of cover my feelings on bag tags, or as the ATC calls them, hanger tags. It means something to thru hikers, and it means something to section hikers. As a section hiker, and not somebody who's a thru hiker, not somebody who's got a tag hanging on my pack, when I see them pass me on the trail, I immediately go, hey, there's a thru hiker. You know, that means something to me. They are attempting something that I want to attempt sometime. They are brave enough to do it. They have invested time and money in what they're doing. So, you know, for me, it's more than just a plastic tag that's hanging on the bag. Now, that's not saying that everybody really needs it or cares about it, and that's perfectly fine. But the issue I have is that there's a lot of people that do, and it means a lot to people that have that tag. You know, when they go to towns and stuff, it's a symbol that they're a thru hiker, a symbol of all that I mentioned. And it's like, hey, it's not, hey, look at me, I'm bragging on what I do, and it's, hey, I'm doing something that I think is pretty neat, pretty phenomenal, even though they don't expect anything from anybody of it. But to me, it is a symbol that means a lot. And I think it's a symbol that means a lot to most thru hikers that carry it, and a symbol to most folks that are thru hiking, or rather section hiking on the trail. It also means, bigger picture, that you're part of the hiker community. Other folks out there that are part of the hiker community see that, and trail angels, they love helping thru hikers, and they love helping everybody, but they love helping thru hikers, and they even love helping section hikers. Fresh Ground's a prime example. He'll feed a section hiker or a thru hiker. You don't even have to be a hiker. He's going to feed you. But trail angels love thru hikers, and so that symbol that you're a thru hiker, that means something to a wide range of people. It's not just a piece of plastic or something that should be taken for granted. So the ATC used to send you that bag tag once you're registered in the mail. You used to register by mail, before the website that they had up and running, and so that's how they would send it to you. Well, then the first year the ATC offered online registration was in 2015. They still sent those out through the mail, but in subsequent years, as more and more thru hikers began to register, and just the census of more and more thru hikers came up, they began to shift that hanger tag distribution to the visitor centers, and in doing so, they expanded their education offerings down at the visitor center, and that is now known as Smart Start at the Arch, and is conducted at the ATC base camp down at Amicalola Falls State Park. So that's where they make, on the southern end, that's where they make the hanger tags available. They don't do it through the mail anymore. It's all distributed down there. They're also distributed at the other visitor centers, but the other visitor centers don't have that organized educational stuff as much. It's more one-on-one as you come through there, but obviously there's more crowds, more people starting down at Amicalola Falls State Park. And so they have some educational opportunities that they offer down there. Talk about that in just a minute. But they make that hat tag available, and this is the verbiage from the ATC, as an incentive to participate in the free 15-minute through hiker orientation offered by the Appalachian Trail Conservancy staff with support from the Georgia AT Club volunteers down there. So a couple questions that brings up in my mind. Let me know in the comment section if it brings it up in your mind, that if the ATC gets that the tags are more than just a piece of plastic, because they use them, I don't want to use the term as bait, but it's almost like bait to lure you down there, but they call it an incentive, which is fine, to come to the visitor center at Amicalola Falls State Park and participate in their registration, sign up, and educational programs, which are all good. I think that's all good things that people need to be doing. But if they think that it's important enough to people that they use it as an incentive, then why would you withhold that tag? Is the incentive no longer there? Now, just because we have COVID, they know that folks are going to hike the trail. The census and the data show that more people are hiking the trail this year than signed up last year. And of course, the people that signed up last year signed up before the pandemic hit. So there's more, over a third more are hiking. So why use that kind of, as a carrot and a stick? That just doesn't make sense, because it's not going to keep people off the trail. And what it does is, though, it pretty much, it creates a rift or a void. It creates problems between hikers and the ATC, who the ATC is out there serving hikers and serving the trail. So it creates that rift between them. So why would you want to do that? They've put out they're not going to do hanger tags this year or in the foreseeable future, but yet there's still more people registering than last year and in subsequent years. So using it as an incentive is not working. It's only creating problems. So I think that's a bad idea. And if I hope that somebody from the ATC has thought about that or has not thought about it, and maybe this will pique them to think about it. Another reason to come get the tag down there is for the orientations that we talked about, but also for the trail. Because if people start at Amicalola Falls State Park and they do the approach trail, instead of everybody just going directly up to Springer, well, the parking lot up at Springer can't take that, particularly on the days when there's 38 people starting. Or last year we had 68 starting on a day. If that happens again, which it very well could. So, and then the road up there is just a mess. If you've ever been up Fire Road 42, or US Forest Service Road 42, which is basically a fire road, it's a mess. So, that's another reason to get people to start down there, to come get their tag, to take part in the orientation, and to start, on the approach trail. So some will do the approach trail, some won't, but at least some folks will do the approach trail, and it won't get so jammed up there at Springer. So that's another reason to do it. And just taking the tag away kind of takes that incentive to come down there and do that. And so it creates all the problems that they're trying to solve by using it as an incentive, since they're no longer using it. So those are just some kind of points that I've been pondering. Do you need a bag tag to hike? Heck no, you don't. I mean, the darn thing weighs, what, 8 grams? You can't be an ultralight backpacker and hang a tag on you. I'm kidding, of course. But do you deserve one? You're attempting this great track. Do you deserve a AT hang tag? You darn tootin' you do. Is there a valid point in withholding them? In my opinion, no. It's not changing the number of people that are attempting to hike. if it is, it's such an infinitesimal amount that one, they're not going to be able to track that number, so there's no data to be gained there, and two, if it is, it's just such a small amount that it's not worth it. Does it stop people from hiking? No. Does it tick hikers off? Yes. Does it even tick non-hikers off who are not even through hiking just because they're upset because the through hikers that they enjoy watching, that they think a lot of, that they want to follow, that they hate it for them? Yep, it sure does. Does it create and deepen that rift that we have currently, or a lot of people have currently with the ATC? It sure does. Are the classes in Mammacola Falls worth it? The one-on-one instruction worth it at the other centers? Yes, it is, and I would highly advise somebody to go take advantage of them. Heck, I looked at some of the online resources, and there was one in particular where it showed you a different knot to use to hang the PCT style, which is a pain to hang, until I saw the video, and it talked about a hawksbill knot that you can use and you can tie with one hand. Well, I'm an Eagle Scout, okay? I've got some sense about me, and I hadn't even thought about that. So I saw that video, and that completely changed. I mean, I was already hanging PCT style, but it completely made my life a whole lot easier for that. So yes, the other classes are worth it. So, you know, this is my opinion. Opinions aren't necessarily fact, but my opinion is that I feel like the ATC should treat someone who has, you know, this has been on their bucket list forever. This is something they look forward to for years. This is something they've researched, they've planned, they've saved for, they've sacrificed. And I think they should treat somebody like that. Particularly, some of those people are people that contribute to the ATC. Some of them are potential contributors. If taking the hiker tag away from them has no value in doing so, then they should treat folks like that with a little more decency. That's just my opinion. I think it's petty not to issue those hanger tags in what has become a thru hiker tradition. They started the tradition. I don't feel like that they should end it, particularly when ending it doesn't make a difference in what's going on out there with the pandemic right now. Those are just my opinions and the facts that I have from the ATC. I intend to let you know about the registrations when I get the information from them, and I'm sure that Lori's going to be getting that to me any day. She's very good about having to go back and talk to some other people. They're very compartmentalized up there at the ATC, so she goes back and I'll send her information or questions, and she will go and get that information from me and communicate that to me. So she's typically pretty good. I asked her several different points, and so she's got different people that she's going to have to be chatting with, and I'm sure she'll get back to me. But that's my opinion. As a famous thru hiker said, use it or lose it. All right, folks, that's all I got this week. As always, appreciate you, and we'll see you out here.